Alright, so once you have your table all set up, you should have all of your tools ready and clean and ready to use. We're going to talk about how to start your painting basics. So some of you have probably painted at home and some of you may not have. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice learning how to do things like hold our brush, clean, and then make marks on our paper. So the first thing we need to talk about is how to hold your brush. Your fingers should be just like you would if you're holding a pencil. That way you have a nice grip so you can paint just as if you were writing with your pencil. Alright, next you need to know how to clean your brush. This is one of the most important things, since if you don't clean your brush, your painting will get super messy and all of your tools will get super gross too. So what you do is you take your brush, stick it in the water gently against the bottom, don't stab, and then draw circles inside the water. So I'm making circles in the water. Now you're not going to tap it against the side of the cup. We want to keep the water on since we are using dry water-based paints. So don't dry your paintbrush on the towel. Keep it wet because you need that water. Alright, our next step is how do you put the paint on the brush? We don't want to stab our paints because that could break them. And if you need to practice knowing how soft to press, you can take your brush and press it against your hand, and it should feel like you're tickling your palm, like you're petting a baby kitty. Right? What you'll do is you'll gently rub against the paint, kind of like you're petting a little cat, a little baby cat. And then to make clean marks, you're going to press softly on your paper. The metal part and plastic parts of your brush should not be touching your page. Only the hairs on your brush should be. And you shouldn't be pressing super hard. Remember, we're brushing as if we're petting a baby kitty. Alright? Alright, so all you have to do is brush it against the paper and it should make a mark. If it's not super dark, that's okay because this is water-based dry paint. So it should be kind of light. Alright? And this is also called, what we're doing right now, it's called wet on dry. In other words, our paper is dry and we're adding something wet on top. So it's going to make very clear marks. When we're done, we are going to, again, rinse our brush. And if we want to do a new color, we need to make sure our brush is clean. And then we're going to rub it against a new color. Alright? And that's how we'll start making new marks. Alright? Always follow this pattern. Our pattern is rinse your brush. So rinse, get your paint, paint the paper. You could also say rinse, paint, paper. Now try saying it yourself. 1, rinse, 2, paint, 3, paper. Alrighty? As we follow that pattern of rinse, paint, paper, that's going to help keep our paint stay clean, which is super important if you want to be able to continue to use these colors. Alright? The last thing we're going to talk about is how to know when you need new water. So what I have here is I have 3 different cups that have 3 different levels of water. One of them is brand new water. One of them is the paint water that I've been using for a little bit. It's gotten a little cloudy. And the last one is super dirty water, right? If you have brand new water, you'll be able to tell immediately because your water will be clear and clean. And when you brush it against your paper, nothing should change. You shouldn't even be able to see the water because it will be super clear, transparent. If your water is cloudy, but you can still keep painting with it, it shouldn't affect your paper color very much or your color of your paint. It should still be fairly clear. There might be a little bit of color in it, but it shouldn't overpower whatever color you're painting with. When you need new water, that's when your water is so dirty that when you paint with it, or you try to use it on your paper, or you try to use a different color with it, it's going to show up as the color it's showing in the water. So right now my water is very pink, and when I put it on the paper, it's still very, very pink instead of showing clear. So if I were to use, say, yellow with this red, you wouldn't be able to see the yellow almost at all. See? They're going to mix, and they're not going to make yellow. right? So that's how you know if you need to go get new water, is if it's super dirty and if you can't make the color you're trying to make, right?